Yo, what up, Cuba?
Oh, yeah.
Hold me down real quick, kid. Niggas want to fucking front, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, let's do this, baby. Let's go around the corner.
Let's toe to toe. Any stupid ass can blast the foe. Now let me know who's man enough to go toe to toe. Somebody let me know who's not afraid to go blow for blow and show how real niggas really roll. Yo, niggas know not the front. I can jump out the box and chest thump. Fucking Glock a pump. So pop the trunk and grab
this one's dedicated to blood. Bloodshot.
My murder rate is phenomenal. What I'ma do is crush your abdominals. Say the talk for down to you. This I promise you. Big Punisher.
About to go toe to toe. We got a big fight coming up.
Like Godzilla. A crowd killer in the rap arena.
You don't want none, Burnz.
That keeps niggas on their toes like ballerinas.
I'll back your team up in 100 hefties if you want.
Rest in peace, Big Pun. Shout out to Cuban Link. Shout out Terror Squad.
Chill. I'm rough and rugged. I shine like a nugget. I'm the last motherfucker that you'll ever wanna fuck with. Up it or get stuck by the Cuban link. I do my thing, bringing it back and forth like a boomerang.
You can hang
before you start rapping. We'll make it happen. Two Latin thugs, too tough to flat.
Fuck the clapping, let's get the scrapping.
You know what it is?
That back and forth is dope.
Break your ankles, shank your face, make it
That's me right there. I'm Big Pun and Bloodshot's Cuban.
I'm Cuban, B.
I'm Cuban, B.
Welcome world, episode 105 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I am the brother Burnz. As always, to the left of me, I got the brother V.S.
You know what it is? V.S. to the O.P. rocking that fucking MDMA, repping that LBE all day, every day. Nah, you know what it is, B. We here, episode 105. This is gonna be a fucking silly ass episode. We getting ready for that one-on-one, toe-to-toe between the brother Burnz and the brother Blood, the B's and B's.
I don't remember what started the beef. Was it going back to the Cormega?
Well, I think it was Cormega. I believe it was the Cormega versus Nature. Word.
That shit been there since 8th grade, B.
We got my number one op that I'm about to spin the block on. Bloodshot.
Who want what? Get ready for this debate. Don't
go.
nobody want it with me, kid. I'm doing push-ups as we speak.
Oh shit!
I could imagine.
I did a push-up last week.
You did a push-up. Wow.
One.
Wow, that's a tremendous achievement.
Counted it out loud too.
Did you? Oh wow.
Totally. So today we're gonna do a long version of 10 shots with VS.
Yes, an extended version.
An extended version where myself, the Grandmaster of Debates, the originator,
the Grandmaster Bader.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
Pajero #1. I'm gonna take on Bloodshot on a few topics and probably not agree on many.
anything.
Before we start, shout out to everybody who checked into the playlist from last episode to get your mojo back after the breakup playlist. That was a hilarious episode. Had a lot of fun with that. Had a lot of fun with the playlist.
Had a lot of fun with the art.
I had a lot of fun with the art. Shout out to Nice One, always coming through with the creative art, the funny shit.
That boy
sometimes
funny
the
as hell.
serious shit, sometimes the arty shit. But this last one was just some funny shit.
That's a fact.
Shit was spot on.
Everybody make sure you go check that out. The artwork's on the Instagram. The playlist is on Apple Music. The episode is up on Spotify, Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the YouTube will be up today. So shout out to that. Make sure y'all go check that out. Have fun and bug out and
It is funny though.
The playlist is fun because it bounces around.
Oh hell yeah!
From like song speed and
tempo and all that, and topic and
feels and vibes.
Yeah. That's the way you arranged it. You didn't.
Well, I arranged it in the order of the episode.
Okay.
So the same way we presented it, and the last few are the honorable mentions.
Oh wow! Look at that.
So it's even funnier.
Wow, that's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, shouts to everybody checking that out.
That was a fun episode.
That was a fun episode. That was a dope episode, actually. I had a lot of fun with that one.
We got to come back with the next playlist. Either the Spring Love or the Freaky Tales.
Freaky Tales.
Freaky Tales. I got some stories for y'all.
But no. Real talk, though. We do a Freaky Tales episode. You got to be mook for that episode.
Oh, early all day.
You got to be mook for that episode.
Bring back the mook.
Say less.
The Mooga.
Say less.
Nah, but
Mooga latte.
what else? Shout out to that. Happy birthday to Q-Tip.
For sure.
A few. It's his 52nd birthday, and it's the 32nd anniversary of their first album.
That's dope.
Oh wow!
Shouts to Q-Tip because he was actually on my list of greatest rapper producers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, because he's amazing at both. And he produced amazing music in his
Happy
career.
birthday to him. 23rd anniversary of I Am. 23rd year anniversary of the album I Am.
Oh, your favorite Nas album?
My favorite.
Your favorite Nas. Word.
Yeah, shout out to that.
23 fucking years already. And to me, that's like new Nas.
I remember getting the sampler tape
Yeah? That shit is dope.
outside of like what's the name of that record store that was in fucking Times Square? Virgin. The big Virgin Mega
Virgin
store.
Megastore.
Yeah.
They had the movie theater downstairs. I seen 8 Mile there. That's crazy.
That is crazy, damn.
But
a lot of theaters have closed. Most record stores have closed. That's just booty.
yeah, man.
There's no more record stores. I mean, like you'll find.
Shout out to Airwax Records. There's still record stores.
You'll find very few, but those are the mom and pops. You'll never
Yeah.
find any mainstream record stores anymore.
Nah,
Like franchises or big joints.
all that's just of a time beyond.
They just opened up. What is it? FYT or
FYE?
Well, FYE, yeah.
FYE? Yeah, they opened one up in the mall near my crib, and I thought that was dope. But
What do
it's
they
more.
sell though.
They sell wax, and it's more like nostalgic things, like like clothes and action figures and things like that, like for movies and popular culture. But they definitely sell wax, and I thought that was dope because I hadn't seen an FYE in a minute.
Yeah, shout out to FYE. They used to sell all the dope DVDs for cheap.
That's a fact. Word.
But fuck FYE if Book fucks with it.
Damn,
Oh,
son.
here we go. This is it.
That's right.
Alright, you don't want none.
Oh.
Fuck I Am, nigga.
Gentlemen.
That's
You can't
Nas's
say that. Nas the
trash
GOAT.
album.
You can't
That's
say
Nas's
nothing bad about
trash
Nas.
album, nigga. I'd rather listen to Stillmatic.
That's
I'd rather listen
blasphemy.
to Godson. I'd rather listen to It Was Written all day.
Oh. He said fuck you.
Nah, I Am was dope. I
Nah,
remember
I
I
ain't
had
dope,
the bootleg CD version, the double disc. And if that shit would have came out, I would have fucking killed everything, bro.
I am Nostradamus.
Hell yeah, bro. I totally agree with that. Although we're not supposed to agree, I totally agree with that.
Very well.
Let's get to this 10 shots, baby.
All right, gentlemen. So here we go. You know the rules of 10 shots, but this time there will be no rapid fire. This time it will be a short debate.
That's right.
I will be moderating. You two fuckers stay within the boundaries.
Dominance.
Dominance.
Yo, keep it even, yo. Just because y'all in the lab together don't mean y'all can
Nah, of course.
conspire against me and
Trust
shit.
me, a lot of these I might agree with you, and on some of these I might agree with this.
I wrote the 10 questions for you to ask. They're right here.
Very questionable. It's very questionable if you ask me.
So you already feel cheated. You already feel like you're gonna lose.
He's already making excuses.
Yeah, you already fucking.
Bro, I'm the Floyd Mayweather of this fucking debate shit.
You're the Florida Mayweather.
More like Florida Evans. Fuck out of here. But you know
I'm gonna leave Burnz looking like 6'9" in front of the building in that new video after this.
Oh, he's gonna
With
leave
his
looking.
chump ass
He was
boys
icy. He was
not
icy.
even in it.
Oh, but he was icy though.
He was icy.
Everybody like
And
ice.
dancing and shit.
Fuck out of here. That
Dancing.
nigga paid them niggas.
Hey, yo, dancing.
But thug dancing.
Yeah,
Although the
nah,
thug dancing.
Nah,
beat
yeah, the
looking
thug dancing. That
Thug
was mad
dancing,
fruity.
nigga.
Kid. You lost right there. You lost.
You lost, son.
Fuck out of
He
here.
was woo walking and shit. That shit hard.
Fuck out of here. But all right, so y'all know the rules
Go.
of 10 shots,
Go.
all right? So here we go. Number
Ready.
10, we're gonna start with
For action.
number 10, Jones or Ross. Who's going with Jones and who's going with
Jim
Ross?
Jones or Rick Ross?
Yes. I feel you would go with Ross.
I like them both though.
I like them both too. Shit.
All right, so now one of y'all got to pick. So fuck y'all.
Who you going with, Burnz? You want to do last album?
For debate's sake, I'll take Rick Ross.
Okay.
Rick Ross is a better.
What makes Rick Ross better in your opinion?
Let me see. What is he better though? No, Rick Ross is overall better than Jim Jones.
In everything?
In almost everything, except maybe like setting trends, like fashion trends.
What would you say to the people that say that Rick Ross is repetitive in his content?
Most rappers are repetitive in their content.
Yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying? At least some people would say that Jones has more depth in his content than Ross.
Jones might get a little more. It's not that he has more depth. He spits in a way that people feel him more. Where Rick Ross spits in a way where he's almost elevated above the peons. Like, he's so luxurious. His songs in production and in subject are often so luxurious that you can't really feel him unless you're on that level or similar or like trying to aspire to be on that level.
Okay,
but
so
Jim Jones says shit that niggas feel because
that's relatable,
Jim
more
Jones,
relatable.
Yeah, he's not afraid to talk about his brokest and hungriest of times.
Right. So again, what would you say to the naysayers of Ross that all his shit is fabricated? Where Jim Jones is actually giving you his life. You know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting question.
You know what I'm saying? Where Jones is actually giving you his life. And people,
according to Rick Ross, is not fabricated.
According to only Rick Ross.
So I don't know. I don't know what's true and what's not true.
But my thing is this. There's been receipts on Ross. And there's also been receipts on Jones, like, as far as him being authentic.
But the receipts on Ross was that he was a CO.
And he's not fucking about that life.
And according to Ross, he was a CO because it was part of being about that life. Where's the further proof that he wasn't about that life? I don't know. I don't know if he was or wasn't. I don't really fucking care.
I'm just saying.
I mean, he raps about it pretty fucking good, like he was there.
Okay.
And he raps well.
So that would
he knows how to put words together.
Blood, what would you have to say to this argument?
I kind of hate to say, but I agree with Burnz.
What? Wow. I was hoping that you would really push for Jones. I'm the only one over here pushing.
In this debate, in this question, I'm rooting for Jones. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is when you're talking about somebody's validity, you can't just pull out one file and say he's real, he's not, and vice versa on the Jim Jones tip. You can't say, yo, there's receipts of him being real, because people forget there's a lot of questionable shit that Jim Jones did between Dipset and him blowing up as a dolo rapper. And it took him 3 or 4 albums for me to personally feel him, because I was not feeling him when he dropped what is it, The Diary of Jim Jones or some shit?
Yeah, but even The Diary, I know what album you're talking about, but that might have even still been his 3rd or 4th album.
And I still wasn't feeling him.
So you might have started feeling him, like on album 8 and shit.
Word.
Yeah, like the thing, I really fucks with him when he dropped Capo. Like, that's why I was like, nah, this nigga's on the next level, because all the songs I thought were dope. I thought the whole concept of the whole album was dope. And then he flipped it with the deluxe version. And then after that, he dropped a couple of other projects. And I'm like, yo, Jim Jones is just like, he's reached a level where, he's a different type of artist now. And I think it's after he got with Roc Nation that it took all of that. It took all those trials and tribulations for me to fuck with him that way. But Ross, when he first dropped, he was dope, but he wasn't who he is now, like, Ricky Rose and shit. But again, that whole shit that people were saying that he was a CO and this and that. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, okay, he had that trajectory where maybe he was going into law enforcement, but where he's from, and personally being from the South, I know. Living in the South for so long, and being here for so long, I know that not everything is black and white. Just because you're a cop or you're a CO doesn't make you not real or not, not hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the thing with this question in particular, that one way you could look at it, in to side with Jim Jones, is that at the moment right now, Jones is on a better like streak than Ross. The last 2 or 3 or 4 Jones albums, he seems to be trending upward. Where Ross, he kind of peaked at a point, and everything else, not that it's whack, but it's just never been as good as a certain run of albums that he had.
What I was gonna say in my argument for Jones is that he's also shown that he can do. How could I put it? He can do more than just one thing, as far as music is concerned, and the type of music he makes. Because he made the Capo albums, right? And then he went and got with Harry Fraud, and he made the Fraud Department, which I thought was okay. Then he went and did that other album with Drama, was it?
DJ Drama, yeah.
Right. And it was kind of like a newer, like drill influenced and all that. So he can do different things, where I think Ross is really, like you said, he was at a peak and he stayed within that lane and he didn't move from that lane. And he didn't show you anything different, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he's so good at that lane that he don't have to do anything different. Even
I think
his
it's
last
repetitive,
album
though. I'm surprised. Go ahead.
His last album that I didn't appreciate at first, it was aight.
Yeah, it turned out to be a good album, man.
And he's got different kind of songs. He doesn't only have the strong like coke pusher songs. He's got the fire fucking emotional songs with the Smile and the Mama Cry and
yeah.
He's got a few of those joints.
Although I think you can feel Jones more. Like Jones puts his pain in the bars differently. Like, he is not afraid to get emotional on a track. Where I think, like you said, with Ross, he's like upper echelon. So he kind of like, even if he does drop a track that you could feel, it's still not gonna be as emotional.
But where he can't deliver on emotion, he'll get his guests to do it. He'll get a feature to do it.
No, absolutely. I think one other thing that we're missing here is the fact that as small as the gap has gotten in terms of music regionality, I think it's still regional in terms of the type of music that, for example, y'all are up north right now and people down south or people out west. As narrow as that gap has gotten, it's still a regional thing, because you're not going to find as many people pumping Jim Jones in Miami and vice versa. You're not going to find as many people in New York pumping Rick Ross. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Another reason I would side with Rick Ross is on their business acumen. I think Ross has been more successful with his label, with his artists, with his side ventures, with his hustles, with the Wingstop franchises,
right.
with just a gang of shit. And Jones has done his thing as well, but his track record as far as putting out artists is not equal to Ross's, and
No.
those artists having success is not equal to Ross's. And then outside ventures, although he has a bunch, it's not equaling to what Ross has compiled. So on that one, I gotta go with Rick Ross.
All right, so I was just gonna ask, Blood, are your closing arguments for either or are?
So for Jones, I'd like to say that although Ross, he does have the better business situation, I think that for Jones, it's dope to see him where he is now, because how he came in the game was like, he just came in as somebody's homeboy. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody does that. Like, for example, like Split Star, for example, who's Busta's boy. You feel me? He was his hype man on stage and shit. You don't really see that we know of Split Star having done business like Jim Jones did. And then Jim Jones became a rapper and became an artist and became a fashion icon. And, just so many different things that he's done, I give him props for, because he took advantage of his situation
Yeah,
And
but he didn't
just,
only
you know?
not to refute you, but when he came in, he never came in as just a homeboy.
Yeah, he wasn't just a flunky.
He was directing videos.
Exactly.
Early, bro.
He was directing. Put it this way: he was directing the videos, all of Cam's videos, and most of the Dipset videos. Not only that, he was engineering all their music.
Yeah.
So
Well, but there you go. You know,
he was putting it together.
He took advantage of that situation.
Yeah,
know what I
and he
mean?
definitely evolved it into a success story. So shouts to him.
So
But I still think
So,
Rick Ross
so obviously
wins.
you're going for Ross. You're siding with Ross on this one. What about you, Blood?
I'm gonna go Jones. I'm gonna go. You know, I fucks with Jones heavy.
And I'm gonna go Jones. So this one goes to Jones.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No,
No, because
because
how does it go to Jones?
No, because
is Jim Jones a better rapper than Rick Ross?
in my opinion, yes. I would rather listen to Jim Jones. So yes,
Nah, he's not a better rapper.
he's not a better rapper in your opinion.
Does he pick better beats than Rick Ross?
That's unfair because
Are
Rick
his
Ross.
albums better than Rick Ross?
Wait. That's unfair because Rick Ross, for one, has in his corner probably one of the glossiest production teams of all time in the Justice League.
That don't matter. That's smart of him. That's
But
a
Jim
decision he made.
Jim Jones can fall back on the heat maker.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
And Jones has a good ear because
he
the
does.
Capo album's fucking
That's what I'm saying.
super dope.
Shit is
Exactly.
crazy.
But it's not
bro.
fucking with Rick Ross's production.
You know what I like about
I prefer
Jones?
that
Album to album discography, Jones got too many misses.
All right.
I like that Jones is not scared to reuse an artist like Mark Sibilia. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like
That
that.
he
An unknown.
makes. Yeah, you know, and he makes the track fire. Like without him, there's a lot of tracks that wouldn't hit the way they do.
That's
See, the difference is that Rick Ross would have then had Mark Sibilia's album out, or at least a single. You know what I mean?
Well, regardless of whatever the fuck you're talking about,
Y'all some haters, bro. Y'all some haters.
I root for Jones.
Because you're a Rick Ross hater.
I'm not a Rick Ross hater. I'm not a Rick Ross hater,
hater,
but I prefer Jones. There are some things that Rick Ross has done that I was like, all right, I can fuck with that.
No, but I'll give that to you because today I prefer Jones.
Okay.
Like if I had to listen to an album today, I would go with the Jones.
So that's one.
This one goes to New York, nigga. Bing bong.
Bing bong. All right, next one. Here we go. This one's going to be a good one because we argued about this for a long time on one episode where we shouldn't have, and we really took a left with this one. Okay. So, Burnz and Blood, who would you choose if you had to do the firm thing all over? Would you choose Cormega or Nature?
Oh, but that's a dumb question. The argument wasn't about choosing. I would choose Cormega. He's a better artist.
Thank you.
The argument was that
his appearance didn't matter.
His appearance didn't matter.
Didn't factor in the success.
Exactly.
Okay.
His appearance or lack of appearance wasn't what ultimately caused the album to fail or succeed. That was the argument. Okay. And neither did Nature. It didn't.
Nature honestly didn't but really didn't do much after or before the firm appearance.
No, he was fairly unknown.
Yeah.
They tried to build him up with the band from TV Verse, and he delivered, you know, it's classic and shit.
He did.
But that would have been a tough slot for anybody to fill.
That's a fact because you're already in a room with three superstars.
Yeah, and you're being asked to fill Cormega's shoes.
That's the other thing.
Exactly. Which it was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
It was never gonna happen.
Regardless of what I joke and shit, at that time Cormega was like the next Nas or the upcoming.
Okay,
Nas.
so I got a better question then.
He's being heralded.
Okay, so I got a better question then. Who, in your opinion, would have been a better fit for the firm? Had it not been, because obviously you got to take Cormega out of there. He wasn't fucking with Nas or whatever. Nas wasn't fucking with him. Who do you think would have been a better fit? Like, because like we said, where the fuck did Nature come from before this? He wasn't like you said.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
They just put them off the block. I feel like
it kind of felt like that almost. And no disrespect to Nature, because he did spit some fucking bars. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he kind of came out of fucking nowhere.
I mean.
So who in your opinion would have been a better fit in that era?
All right, easy to answer.
Let's go. Let's hear this, and you got to come up with one too, Blood.
Easy
so
answer.
let's go.
because I'm a fan. And all right, let me tie this to a few things since we got no guests and we can talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tie this to Tekashi 6ix9ine, Bloodshot's favorite rapper.
What? Why does it always come back to this fucking kid?
Yo, just hearing his name makes my ears bleed, yo.
He dropped a video earlier this week that he's coming back on April 15th.
Okay.
I don't know if he's got a new song. I don't know if he's got a new video coming. I don't know if it's whatever. It could be anything. But I liked the marketing of it. You know, the actual video is kind of like dark and almost scary, and he's with like an old lady, and she's talking some scary shit about to live, you gotta die, something, whatever, and then she drowns him, and then he bursts out the water. So I realized that what I like about Tekashi is his marketing mind and how he sells himself and his product and how he knows how to build anticipation for something, very akin to wrestling. Which I've been on record saying that I like.
Right.
So I realized this about Tekashi, and I tie this back to your question.
Okay.
Because I like wrestling.
Okay.
And in a wrestling world, the answer to your question is tied into the battle for the King of New York that was happening at the moment, which had Nas, Jay, Hove, and this person who I'm about to name.
Okay.
It ties into previous beef between this artist and Big, and I believe at the moment he had beef with Hove too.
Okay.
And I think he was cool with Foxy. Anyway, the perfect artist would have been Prodigy.
Damn, I was thinking the same thing, bro.
That's an interesting fit.
Yeah, I think he would have
fit in nicely.
And he would,
and he would have brought something like he would have brought back the Cormega aspect that was lacking, the street aspect, the very New York street aspect,
right, with an even more recognizable name than Cormega.
Right, and a better track record.
And a better track record.
No disrespect to Cormega.
They could have brought in Havoc production to counterbalance the pop aspects of Trackmasters.
Trackmasters and Dr. Dre and them,
Prodigy can also hang on the mic with Nas, like very head to head.
Well, like you just said, at that time he was in contention for best rapper alive.
Right. So right there, you would have completed like the Royal Rumble of the King of New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Prodigy was good at like selling beef. You know what I mean? Or like throwing in them bars that it may not be direct, but like on the Tupac diss on
Drop a Jump
on him, like that. I didn't even know he was talking to Tupac probably for like 10 years.
For real?
Yeah.
No, I kind of knew off rip because I knew about it.
It's dope that I think it'd be dope for him to be in there because he'd be dropping little subliminals at Jay and Big and at Kim. I don't remember if he had beef with Kim. I don't think so because they did the Quiet Storm.
Nah, yeah, exactly. They would later do the Quiet Storm.
And I think in his book he said he tried to smash. Rest in peace to Prodigy.
Yeah, shouts.
But yeah, I think
okay, that's an interesting pick. That's a dope pick actually. I fuck with Prodigy big time. He's on my top 10 list of all time, and shouts to that pick, man. So what about you, Blood? What you got?
I would need more time to think, but I was thinking Prodigy originally, but being that he was part of the group, it would have been hard for him to break off and become a part of the firm. But if we're gonna go in that vein, I would maybe say Nori. You know what I'm saying? Because Nori was already on the album and he was coming off the major success of Super Thug, right? This, right? If I'm not mistaken, the firm dropped after the Nori album.
Yes, it did. It did.
Yeah, because Nature did Ban from TV.
Yeah.
So he was on maybe his peak, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, because he dropped a solo with Al Capone. The War Report was being heralded as one of the dopest albums for hip hop at the time.
Yeah.
And although Prodigy and Nori's personas don't fit into the mafioso persona per se, they do have some songs that have that kind of aura, you know what I'm saying, around them. So I think Nori would have blessed a lot of the songs that where Nature fell flat. You know, although he lyrically cannot hang with Prodigy, his personality alone would have carried him.
Right. That's actually a very good pick also as well, because I feel he would have fit, and to counter what you said about him not fitting in the mafioso, I believe he does fit in there because he would be like the grunt, the one that does all the dirty work and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Very
and the
true,
mafia and the mafia got those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of like
you got the boss, you got the underboss, you got
Luca Brasi,
right? You know what I'm saying? So he would definitely fit into that fold as that character.
Plus, he had the chemistry with Nas coming off a Body in the Trunk. Right.
And he, in my opinion, he had one of the better songs on the Firm with "I'm Leaving."
Yeah,
you know
that was his. He had a solo track on the album.
That's what I mean. So. And so that's actually a very good pick, man. That's a good pick.
Yeah, man. So, going back to the whole Mega and Nature thing, it goes back to Nas, because Nas to me was like the boss of the family. You feel me? And then Nas and Cormega had that thing where they had, there was kind of like this thing where they were already linked together more so than I think Nas and AZ. Before them. So, it was always just this thing where when Cormega got dropped off the album, it kind of like was like, oh shit, nah, damn, I'm not fucking with the Firm no more.
Right. So you think it hurt the Firm then to drop Mega?
I really think it hurt them. Yeah, I really think it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You out of it?
I don't disagree. No. I don't disagree. It definitely hurt them in their momentum and shit.
But to go back to what we were picking, even though we're not picking either of the artists I said originally, but to go off the actual two picks that you two gentlemen did mention, I would have to go with Burnz on this one, because Prodigy at the time, like I said, and like Burnz also said, he was in contention for being the top rapper alive, best rapper alive. Even Jay-Z even said at the time, he was like, yo, the dude was a beast at the time, man. He was crazy. And he was speaking truth. Yeah. And he did it in the most New York of ways, you know what I'm saying?
And I just think it would have made it more interesting than Nori. Not that Nori's a bad pick. Nori's actually a great pick. Right. But he didn't bring that.
They would have brought a different balance.
That tenacity.
Yeah.
Prodigy was on. Prodigy was just trying to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah, he was trying to take people's heads off. So I would definitely have to go with Prodigy on this one. Sorry, Blood.
And he would have toughened up Nas and AZ.
Huh?
He would have toughened up Nas and AZ.
Yeah, because I think there was too much Foxy estrogen floating around.
Bro.
What?
Nah. Shout out to the Firm, man.
Nah, shout out to the Firm, man. Shout out to Cormega, Nature, Nas, Foxy, everybody.
We need a new album.
Sure.
Would Mega be back for the album? Have they reconciled, him and Nas?
I believe, they have, because Nas is gonna be on the new Mega album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So hey, there you go.
Yeah.
And he was featured on that track on The King's Disease.
So if they drop, he was?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Kind of fell flat.
If they drop the Firm album with Mega and it don't live up to the numbers set by the Firm album with Nature, do I automatically win?
I mean, it strengthens.
Because
it strengthens your argument. It definitely strengthens your argument.
It's a different time.
Nah.
It's not the same
That's
thing.
not my fault. That's not my fault.
It's not the same thing.
That's not my fault.
It definitely
If
strengthens.
it don't match the sales, then we know it was all Nature.
Come on, man.
All right, let's move on.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Number 8. Tupac or DMX? Who was the overall better artist? And I mean in all facets of their game, with the acting, the poetry, the music, everything they did. Who was the better artist overall per se? Tupac or DMX? I know you're gonna go with Tupac. Blood.
Tupac. Blood love Tupac.
Yeah.
So I'll go with DMX, man. Fuck Tupac. Rest in peace.
Oh,
but both
rest
of
in
them
peace. Actually, rest in peace to both.
It's been a year since we lost DMX.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the anniversary as well.
Yeah. I think DMX had more of a connection with the fans while he was alive. That they got to see him rap, perform, be in movies. hear his poetry, connect with his prayers, cry with him, scream with him, see him go up, see him go down, see him come out. And musically, they're kind of close. They might have the same amount of classic songs. Tupac might have a little bit more, but DMX might have bigger songs.
Whose music do you personally?
I prefer DMX music.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Tupac fan. Movies wise,
whose movies do you prefer?
Tupac really only has one classic to me, which is Juice.
Where he played like
yeah, Poetic Justice is cool. What else was he in? Gang Related, I never really fucked with.
Bullet,
I couldn't even tell you what that is.
The one that he's a dope fiend, what's that called?
I think that's Gang Related.
No, the one that he's a dope fiend is called with this guy, with the other guy, with the white guy. What the fuck is his name? But that one's called
Locked Up?
No.
I don't know. But DMX don't have a bunch of classic movies either, to be honest.
What about he's in Above the Rim, Pac? That was a good movie.
Oh, true. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he played a good role.
That's a classic.
He was playing himself though. In all honesty,
yeah,
he was
the
playing.
movie's called Gridlock. You heard?
Huh?
Tupac. The Tupac movie is called Gridlock.
Gridlock. That's
Gridlock.
the one.
I told you, lock something. What else? Videos. They're kind of, I don't know. They're very neck and neck. I prefer DMX. I think Tupac's poetry wasn't known until after he died. And had he been alive, maybe it would have never been. That might be the difference between Tupac and DMX.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let me go before you shoot yourself in the foot.
No. Before you go.
Whoa.
Tupac, in my eyes, was always playing a role of, well, not always. When he went to death row, he started playing this role that he wasn't so much before, when he was Righteous Tupac and Keep Your Head Up Tupac and Brenda's Got a Baby and Hey Mama, all that shit. When he got to death row, he started playing this role of Tupac, the Don, the villain, whatever. So in playing that role, he couldn't really show weakness. So his poetry couldn't be released or the public couldn't know. This is my opinion.
Okay.
Where DMX didn't give a fuck. He would be the hardest nigga 1 minute, and then the next minute he's crying on the stage.
Doing his prayer.
And like people loved him either way, and they loved him a lot because of that. So I think he was truer to himself in life. And then Tupac got exposed in death.
Not exposed, but like his art did.
Yeah, sides of him that he didn't necessarily want to put out.
And who knows if he would actually put it out had he been alive.
Exactly.
Okay. What about you, Blood? What you got?
So I let Burnz go. I didn't want to, interrupt and shit while he was, trying to prove his argument, but he's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Ooh.
And let me also start off by saying that I absolutely loved DMX. You would not find a bigger DMX fan than me. From the time that he reached his peak, musically. I really, really fuck with DMX. And it all started when I went to a performance that he did in the Heights, and I was like, this motherfucker is out of his mind. Like, he is crazy. He was dope. He was not afraid, like Burnz said, to say a prayer in front of somebody.
Right.
He had a lot of demons, so he was really whacked out. So like on his downfall, it really is it sucks that people put him in kind of like a vein that he was a little crazy, and he was in the headlines as being kind of out there. But when he was on top, it was unquestioned that he was on top. Right. You feel me? Yeah. Pac, on the other hand, never fell off, in my opinion. Even when he went to jail, even when he caught the rape charges, got shot, he was always Pac, no matter what. In any setting, anywhere he went, people fucked with him. And to this day, you got Pac clones, people trying to be like him, people talking about him. The whole situation that just happened at the Oscars, they bringing him up. You feel me? It's just, he is like a mythical figure and will always be that way. You know what I'm saying? His music is so raw that you will listen to a Tupac album and like, you know, you'll be on some West Coast shit for the next couple of days. You know, I think that DMX's music, you put on the album and you kind of go on a trip, but Pac just, there was something about Pac's words that, bro, it just took you to somewhere else, man. And he was very controversial. He had some songs that were for the females, some against them. You know, some were revolutionary, some were gangster. So he was all over the place with it. But all we all, you know what I'm saying? All we all, he was only 25 when I think he died. You know what I'm saying? So he was a young guy and he was just doing so much in terms of putting content out there. So, yo, I listened to like All Eyes on Me. I think that's one of the dopest albums of all time. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that he actually did the deal with Suge, because the level of his music stepped up, I think. Even though the content changed and we went from having songs that were more uplifting to more, you know, about hood life, I think that the music itself was better. You know what I mean? Like,
so you wouldn't say that Shining with Death Row contributed to his demise?
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that it may have contributed to his demise, but it also may have contributed to his rise in terms of notoriety as being one of the top 10 artists of all time, you know? Because if you would have just had Strictly For My Niggas and what was the second album?
Tupacalypse.
Now, that was the first album, excuse me. If we would have just had those two albums, you know, we wouldn't be talking about this. But just the fact that, you know, after he got out of jail, he dropped, you know, All Eyes on Me. He dropped, you know, Machiavelli. I mean, that was after he died, but obviously he was recording with Dre and all them cats out there. I think it was Johnny Boy was one of the artists. And
what about that story that Tupac told Biggie he was just doing all this shit to sell records?
Yeah.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. You know what I mean? In this conversation. He was a controversial dude and he had a lot of things going on, but the same thing with DMX. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but DMX never did no buffoonery to sell records. Or initiate a coastal beef to sell records.
Not saying that
DMX didn't sell as many records as Pac did.
The what?
DMX didn't sell as many records as Pac did. For as many records as DMX sold, he's not touching Pac on record sales.
No, I know, but I think that contributed to it. His willingness to participate in the again, to go back to like the wrestling shit. Like,
I got another question though.
The wrestling aspect.
Now, if
helped him sell records, but also his death. I'll always believe that his death made him more successful and bigger than he would have been in life.
That was going to be my thing. Like, had he not died at the time before he died, right? If you compare both his career and obviously DMX's career when he was alive, who do you think at the time had sold more records? If you compare the careers, like as far as their work, their body of work up until Pac died. You understand? If you compare the both. I'm almost guaranteeing that DMX sold more records.
I don't think so.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go off the first two albums,
right?
3 albums,
yeah, exactly.
That they put out.
Again, how long?
Tupac wasn't a big.
I don't think Tupac really took off until, like you said, he got locked up and then joined Death Row, and then he started.
Did you just hear what I said? How long was Pac out before he died?
A while,
like 6 years.
Nah.
You know, he was with Digital Underground, but
he was out.
He was only like 6 years.
Tupacalypse came out in like 91. 91, 92.
97. 96, he died. 96. He was only out 4 or 5 years. He did all that in the span of 4 or 5 years. DMX, you know, God rest his soul, he was what 20 years in the game, my brother. Before
Yeah, but
no. What I'm trying to get at is like
DMX did all
peak.
his shit in the first 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah, DMX's peak is what I'm trying to get at.
He didn't die, but he did. He went through his shit and he stopped putting out music and he stopped acting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think they had a
All
similar career.
So they had a similar trajectory, very similar. But I mean, if you're asking me who sold more records, I'm gonna always say Pac.
No, totally. I mean, that's
that's
a question that's not opinion. That one can actually be looked up. But I counter that by saying his record sales accumulated much success in death.
Right.
Yeah. But still, what I'm talking about is before he died. I'm gonna say Pac sold more records before he died at his peak than DMX did at his peak.
No,
I don't think so.
I gotta disagree.
Yeah, I gotta
disagree.
Because
Tupac's
album, his first album,
we would have to see which albums we're talking about, though.
But the first Tupac album, what was it called? Tupacalypse? Versus the first DMX album. Yeah, that's a big difference. I think the first DMX album went diamond.
Close to it.
And then the second album against Strictly for My Niggas, same thing.
My Flesh.
Yeah. Flesh of My, and then the third DMX album.
Then the third DMX and the fourth, and then same thing with Pac. Pac came strong with his third and fourth albums on Death Row.
Yeah,
before he passed away.
Yeah.
Before he passed away.
So maybe DMX gets the first two, Tupac gets the second two.
Maybe.
But it would depend on the success of them before the death.
Yeah, we would have to look up those numbers. Yeah, but that's still that question has nothing to do with who was the better artist or who put out
right. Record sales don't
No.
And we forget that again. Pac was just a mythical figure. Like I always tell the story that I saw him in New York, and it was like, bro, I don't get starstruck, bro. I can see somebody and I'll be like, all right, well, what up, nigga, and keep it moving. You feel me? But an artist like Pac, he was just different. I was just a kid, but I was very starstruck. And I've seen a lot of artists before him and after him that I didn't feel that way. You know what I mean? Living in New York and in Jersey, I never ran into somebody and felt the way that I did when I seen Pac. I kind of got shook. It's like, yo, I know this cat. And he had like this aura. And same thing every time he appeared at I'm saying when he would come on A Different World and shit. Everybody gets oh shit, Pac. Know what I'm saying? Another big movie that he was on that we forgot about was Above the Rim, and he was on the soundtrack. And he had that underground song on the soundtrack. There's a lot of underground Pac that's really hasn't been heard that I fucks with. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, this is a sidebar, but I was with J Kid yesterday, and we was pumping a little underground CD that he made of Tupac, and he has a lot of songs. I was like, oh shit, what's this? Damn, I haven't heard this shit in years, and I was Shazamming everything, cause we forget about his other hits and about his other music.
It's because there wasn't all hits. He just had a shitload of music.
But in my opinion, they were his. They not. You feel me? It's like listening to Underground Mob. It might not be a hit commercially, but I'm gotta listen to that shit day in and day out. I might listen to that shit for 3 days.
Yeah,
that's where we differ, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather listen to Mobb Deep.
I'd rather not listen to none of that.
Than Pac? You'd rather listen to Mobb Deep than Pac. But what I'm trying to say is that, would you rather listen to Mobb Deep than DMX?
That's a tough one.
Would you rather listen to Pac than DMX?
That's a tough one as well. So anyway, in conclusion,
it depends on the songs.
That's the conversation. Exactly, that's the conversation. Yeah. Now DMX got maybe I go. You put a versus battle right now, 20 for 20. DMX is holding his own. You know what I'm saying? But he not fucking with Pac. He couldn't even fuck with Snoop Dogg. Come on, man.
That was different, I believe, though.
It's not different, bro. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He got those hits, and they were big at the time, and they are what they are in your memory. But come on, bro, it's not fucking with a Tupac hit or a Snoop Dogg hit. Can't hang, bro. Come on.
All right. So in conclusion, then, we're coming out that Pac is a better artist than DMX.
That's what I would say.
Pac is Pac is a legend in death, bro.
So his death actually elevated his legendary status.
I will always
Bro,
believe
even
that.
when he was alive, man, there was so many Tupac clones and shit. And like, yo, this man's work ethic cannot be fucked with.
So we will side with Tupac.
All these things can be true, but go ahead, Tupac. Moving on.
Speaking of Tupac, there's a movie that he was supposed to star in, and supposedly he didn't because he got into an argument with the directors of Menace to Society. He was supposed to play the O-Dog character. Now, the question is, better movie in your opinion, and who would you fuck with more, Boys in the Hood or Menace? Obviously, Boys came out first, and that was the original Hood movie. You know what I'm saying? Like for our era. But Menace.
Go ahead. I got an argument for each side.
Okay, here we go. So go ahead, Blood. You can kick off the argument.
Yeah, feel free.
I got an argument for every bump on your face, nigga.
Luckily, I have no bumps.
Word, I am bump free. Thank you.
Nah,
Go ahead, sir.
I mean, both movies are dope to me, in my opinion.
Okay.
If you're asking which one's better,
Who would you side? Which one would you side with?
again, I got an argument for each side. So I would want to let Burnz go first because, you know, I don't want to pick and have
What's
him
the
be
question?
like, oh,
Which
damn,
one's my
that's what
favorite?
Yeah. Which one you
Which
prefer?
one's my favorite?
Yeah,
Which one do I prefer? Nah, they're both classics. Obviously, we've seen both 1,000 times.
Right.
If I gotta pick one that I prefer more, I probably prefer Menace because it's a little more. Boys is a little older.
Not much older than Menace, though.
But it looks older to me.
Okay.
And Cuba Gooding Jr. is foogy as hell, bro. That nigga's corny.
You hated his character?
Yeah, he's a goof.
You're a fucking fool, yo.
At least, what's my man's name in Menace? Not O-Dog, the other one.
Kane.
At least Kane is cool. He got a cool name, Kane.
Yeah.
He bags bitches. He got a cool whip.
Sells drugs.
O-Dog. Then you got faggot ass Chauncey. Like it has little funny,
Shouts to
memorable
Clifton Powell.
scenes.
Yeah.
Word up.
And you know, it was a little more like graphic.
Right.
They're very similar movies, obviously. Hood dramas with warring neighborhoods and beef, and they have their each movie has like an OG trying to
school them onto what's going on.
trying to school them, and each movie I believe has like, does Boys in the Hood have like a peaceful brother? Like in Menace.
Yeah,
that
Cuba
they
Gooding.
got- Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
Cuba Gooding or the other dude that's going to college.
The other
Stacey.
dude, yeah. So they each have like similar characters and shit. But if I had to pick one, I just prefer to watch Menace. If I had to pop in one DVD or the other, I just watch Menace.
Okay.
It's a little cooler.
What about you? What about you, Blood?
But like I said, I got an argument for each side. So I absolutely love both movies. I love the fact that they're both cautionary tales. I'd say if I'm arguing against Menace, I say that the differences are that obviously the directors, you know, the Hughes brothers cannot fuck with John Singleton, in my opinion, and his storytelling ability. So I remember I left both movies feeling a certain way, right? But I say the one that affected me more may have been Boys in the Hood, just because it was crazy to me how the good guy in all this, which was Ricky, which was Doughboy's brother, he was supposed to be the all-star athlete. You know, he was getting recruited by colleges that were coming to the house and everything. He's the one that gets murdered, right? He gets shot. And then just that happens every day in the hood, bro. Like, you know, the good die young. So that very much affected me. Everybody knows that scene, you know, when he screams out Ricky. Yeah. And then just seeing how Doughboy gets revenge at the end. And you're like, yeah, like he got it. Like, man, he got revenge on them cats, and everybody's feeling a certain way. And then you read that he dies a couple weeks later. He gets shot a couple weeks later. You just like, it brings you back down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. So just that story and just the ending was too crazy for me. Same thing with Menace, bro, because Menace, they portrayed it in a specific way that was so very real, you know? But in that sense, I was never a hood cat like Kane. Well, you know, when the movie came out, I was never a drug dealer before that movie came out, you know, so I couldn't relate to Kane's character as much as I could to like Ricky or even Doughboy, because you know, I'm an older brother, you feel me? So if somebody, you know, shot my little bro, you know, I'm definitely gonna ride for him no matter what. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason I would pick Boys in the Hood. Both movies are classic, both got so many quotables, and just two official ass movies, bro.
Go ahead, Burnz.
No, I mean, Boys gets the advantage of being first.
Yeah, like had Boys not come out, what would Menace have been?
It would have been Boys.
No, I'm just saying, like, would it have been even the same movie? Is my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to tell exactly. Yeah. But
yeah, maybe not.
I would give the advantage of Boys because, again, like Burnz said, it was first, and it just like you in my opinion, like you said that they Doughboy got revenge and it felt good. In my opinion, he didn't feel good about it. Like, he let it be known the next day, like, yeah, I killed them, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he kind of foretold his own fate at the very end. He was like, yeah, next thing you know, these fools gonna try to smoke me. You know what I'm saying? And he knew what was gonna happen, but he didn't even give a fuck because his brother was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's why, to me, that was different. You know, as I, for one, had never seen that in a movie before. You know, and like you said, it made me feel something. You know,
yeah.
So,
you left the movies with that heavy, like heavy on your mind, like, oh shit, like, damn, that ending was unexpected.
And like you said, Blood, like, John Singleton did tell a very poignant story. Like, he knew how to put it together well. You know, with the characters that he built and the story that he told. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
So yeah, shouts to Boys, man. Shouts to both movies because, like Burnz said, Menace also has its quotables and it is also a dope story and a dope tale and shit. But I don't know. To me, the advantage goes.
Yeah, no. Shouts to Menace, man. Never saw a movie like that before. You know, it was ahead of its time, I think.
For sure. All right, so let's move on then.
Yes, let's speed this up.
Yeah. Number 6, Hitman or the Rock Boys. Who you going with? Production team. If you're a rap, well, you were a rapper. Who would you rock with? Like, if you had a choice, if you could have a choice. Both of you was rappers, so let's see who you choose.
Damn.
And why? Make it quick. And when I say the Hitman, I'm talking about Diddy's crew, you know, Stevie B.
No, I'll take the Hitman.
Yeah?
Yeah, they made better albums. And if you had Diddy driving the boat, it's going to be a dope album. Full of dope songs. Where rock albums were full of dope songs, but they weren't necessarily dope albums.
Okay.
As far as like, Diddy always knew how to do the drama, and the album would almost feel like a movie with the skits and sound effects and ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, Life After Death, Ready to Die are great examples. Harlem World's another good example. Even Money, Power, Respect is another good example. Diddy's No Way Out is another great example. Whew. So it's just to make a doper album, I would have went with
the Hitman.
The Hitman, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Blood?
So as a rapper, this is a specific question. I'm gonna answer a specific way because as a rapper, I might prefer to fuck with the Rock Boys because their sound maybe caters a little bit better to an artist like myself. You feel me? As opposed to the Hitmen, where a lot of the tracks might be more R&B sounding.
Okay.
You know, they're definitely gonna be hits. You know, hence their name. You know, no pun intended. But the Rock Boys just again, when it comes to how they put their music together, I think would cater better to me as a rapper. And I think for as good as the production team was, the head of that would have been Diddy, like Burnz said, where they would have like the ad-libs and they would have like it sounded more like a movie. But a lot of their albums were misses, you know, for as successful as they were misses. Whereas in the Rock Boys, the ones that were really successful, like blew into another stratosphere. You feel me? For example, like I think Hove has a lot to do with the executive production on his album, whereas, you know, like we said, Diddy would have been the executive producer. So just on the strength of that success off of Jay-Z's albums and what he did with Just Blaze and with Kanye and everyone else, you know, it can't be matched. And I think I would have found more success under The Rock than Bad Boy.
So I agree. You would have found more success under The Rock and Bad Boy.
Yeah.
You were more that vein of rapper, like a Beanie Siegel type.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I was more like the R&B sounding.
Oh, like Loon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think each one would have fit the other. But I have to disagree that the Hitmen had many misses. Because like I said, they had Ready to Die, Life After.
They weren't on all of Ready. Ready to Die was majority.
Oh yeah, let's skip Ready to Die. Let's just say start with Life After.
Okay.
Then you had the Mace album.
Okay.
Then you had the Diddy album.
Mace
So
album
the
was
Mace
a lot of trash,
album
was Trackmasters too, man.
Then you had the Lox album.
So when I say the Mace album, for example, that's what I meant. Like, it was successful when it came out, but over time, you think it still stands up? You know, when you compare it to like Rock La Familia or something like that.
Hell yeah. The Mace
I
album?
don't think so.
Like Harlem
Yeah.
World? You're talking about Harlem World?
Yeah, Harlem. I don't think it's still.
I think. Especially if you compare it
I
to
don't
like
think
a
it's
Rock
aged
La
as well.
Familia. Yeah, you're not going to compare it to the Blueprint, obviously.
Yeah.
But compared to a lesser B Rockefeller album, hell yeah. Harlem World's still a dope album. It's just a little bloated.
It is.
It's got 24 songs or some shit. But at the time, that was
a standard. Yeah.
But, you know, he got a dope album out of G-Dep that slept on. They got a dope album out of Black Rob that was slept on.
True.
And I mean dope albums, like from beginning to end. Okay. So
I agree.
For the album aspect, again, I got to go there.
Okay.
I agree.
Moving on.
Number 5. If you could take all the rappers from Harlem and all the rappers from the Bronx, who would you rock with?
All the rappers from Harlem.
Yeah, like all your favorite artists and rappers from Harlem and all your favorite rappers and artists from the Bronx. Who would you fucking fuck with more? The Bronx or Harlem? And I'm talking about even artists that we interviewed here. Because we've interviewed some cats from Harlem and we've interviewed a lot of cats from the Bronx.
I don't know. I'm trying to think more of like classic artists.
Okay.
The Bronx got Big Pun, obviously.
Right.
KRS.
KRS. So I'm trying to think like who cancels out who, right? So if the Bronx got Big Pun,
Harlem got Big L.
Okay.
I think they,
All right, so they cancel each other out.
Closest.
Fair.
Yeah, they cancel each other out. Yeah.
Then let's say Fat Joe, maybe Cam.
Okay, so you're taking
They
Cam in that.
cancel each other out.
You think they cancel each other out?
I think so, more or less.
Okay, go ahead. So go ahead. Proceed.
So it's gonna all depend on who has people left, because these guys are canceling each other out. But I feel like the Bronx runs out of people first.
Really?
I think you're right. That's how I feel. Yeah. But I think the Bronx caliber of MC.
But also, I need to do research because I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of Bronx rappers.
Yeah, same here. But I think their caliber gives them the edge. So, like, for example, Big L and Big Pun cancel each other out, but I think Big Pun, beats
Big L,
gets the edge. Yeah,
but I think Cam beats Fat Joe.
Yeah.
So there's still 1-1.
Right.
Cam beats Fat Joe, and then KRS, who we're gonna put from Harlem to
who's
battle KRS,
Dougie Fresh or some shit.
Like
Kumo D.
Isn't Slick Rick from the Bronx too?
Slick Rick is from the Bronx.
That's fucking. There you go. Forget it.
Yeah, classic artist.
But I don't remember who was from Harlem back in the day.
Yeah,
it'd have to be researched.
Harlem,
maybe like the Furious 5, Grandmaster Flash.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or was he from the Bronx?
Yeah, I think they were from the Bronx.
I need more Harlem artists, period, because all I really can think of is Dipset.
Now you were thinking that you were gonna run out of Bronx artists first, and now.
But I already ran out of Bronx artists.
No, we kept mentioning Bronx artists, and we already ran out of Harlem artists.
Yeah, like Dipset.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your boy Charles Hamilton was from Harlem.
That motherfucker fell off so fast. Damn, I don't know. That's a good question. I think Queens and Brooklyn beat them both.
Oh, absolutely. Easily. That's why I didn't ask that one, because that one to me would be too easy.
I would still go with Harlem, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, Harlem is just a much doper borough than BX.
Ooh, really?
I would go with the BX when it comes to hip-hop, because they always kept it to the roots, you feel me? Like, that's where hip-hop was started.
But that's where we differ again. You want to stay to the roots and on the street and on the corner, and I want to be in Harlem, funky fresh, shining on 125.
But look what the Bronx is doing now with the drill movement. There's a lot of fucking Bronx drill rappers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's still to the core root, street, thuggery bullshit. I want to be in Harlem with Mace and some fucking hoes. Fuck that Bronx shit.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Bloody on this one, man.
That's okay. Y'all stay in the Bronx.
I'm gonna stay with the Bronx on
don't
this
invite
one, man.
me over
BX,
there.
fuck you.
Yo, Harv, we're gonna go to Ajo y Oregano. We're not gonna bring this nigga Burnz.
They deliver.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna run over to Harlem and rob this cat.
Nah, they deliver. Ajo and Oregano, whatever. DoorDash, nigga. Straight to Harlem.
You're not getting into that.
They might not do it for like regular folk, but for Harlem dons like me,
nigga, I'm gonna roll up to the door and you're gonna dash, nigga.
Ooh, like Dame. All right, let's move on, man. Number 4, who are you taking, Jada or Fab?
Fab.
Ooh, I know you're gonna go with Jada. Come on, bud. Go with Jada.
Yeah, I'll go with either or.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead, Burnz.
I just like Fab more, bro. Just pure opinion. They're both dope, obviously. You know, Jada's Jada, bro. Whether he's overrated or underrated can be argued for days on end.
Right.
Neither one has delivered that classic album that everyone's been dying for them to deliver. Both can be argued as being underachievers.
I will say this though about Fab. For Fab's argument, I prefer any one of the what the fuck are they called?
Soul tapes.
The soul tapes to any project that Jada has dropped.
I totally agree.
So therefore that gives
I prefer
to me
Fab as a rapper. I would always rather
that gives to me the advantage over Jada. Go ahead, Blood. What you got?
Not much to be.
What I would argue against that is that Jadakiss has his group albums, you feel me, that Fabolous doesn't have. And although you can say, they don't count, he's still contributing his, Jadakiss is a big part of the Locks, obviously. Like, it's not like he didn't rap on any track or maybe one track he didn't rap on. You feel me? He's like an anchor on the group. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that sets him apart in terms of caliber artist with Fab, but I really fucks with Fab though. Don't get it twisted. And I think he did deliver a classic album in that Summertime Shootout. I will always say that to me, that's an album. It's not a mixtape. And I think that shit is absolutely classic. I think it changed the dynamic of how niggas was putting out music at the time. And
does Jada have a classic album?
Jada, I think not compared to Fab. You know what I mean? Not compared to Fab. Not that I can say, yo, that's a 5 micer compared to like Summertime Shootout.
Would you give Summertime Shootout with 5 mics?
Yeah, I give it 5 mics.
What?
Absolutely.
Oh, so what are we arguing here?
All right, so then I think Fab takes
who's
this.
the better artist. Like,
So I think that
we go with.
All three of us
go
take
with.
Fab.
So I think we're all going for Fab.
No. I
Unanimous.
think. Wait. Let me again argue. I think that Jadakiss, though, in my opinion, is
He
a
can't
better
be.
rapper. He's a better rapper.
That's not the question. Who's the better artist?
Yeah.
And he can't be, well, maybe I guess a better rapper. But he can't be a better artist if he don't have a classic album or a 5 mic album to you. You just.
But it's just a different dynamic, though. It's not the same thing, though. You know, like I could be like, yo, you know, I'd rather listen to 100 Jadakiss verses over 100 Fabolous verses. Although Fabolous got that one standout where his album, I think, gets 5 mics. You know.
What did y'all think of the Friday on Elm Street or whatever the fuck it was called?
I thought that shit was dope.
Yeah, I thought it was better than any Jadakiss album.
Even though it was kind of like a Jadakiss album.
Well, I thought Fab made it better. Like,
Had
them
it just
two
been-
together are better than Jada alone, in my opinion.
So therefore, that's why. Okay, I get it. That's why Fab gets the nod.
Fab alone is better than Jada, and
then
Fab and Jada
are
is better than Jada.
Jada alone, right? Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
So it's unanimous, Fab. All
and
three
a
of
Fab
us?
and Jada album without Jada is better than Jada,
So it's unanimous then, Fab.
and an instrumental album is better than Jada.
I think that in hip hop, I
my
would
album
rather
is better
subtract
than Jada.
Fabulous than I would Jadakiss. You know, in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather subtract Fabulous than Jada, regardless of you know, standout
So
achievements that Fabulous has. I think that Jadakiss has done too much for the game.
So you're taking Jada, you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jadakiss.
Yeah, I'm still going with Fab. So you lose. Next topic.
Fab.
I think Jadakiss smoked them in the verses.
He was
like
more
that.
entertaining. That's a fact.
He smoked them, nigga.
Yeah. The verses, yeah.
But Jada also smoked the Dipset.
By himself.
Damn near, basically. Yeah.
So,
All right, moving
come
on. Number 3, we got Big L or Big Pun.
Big Pun.
Oof.
This is always a good one because I know that Blood is a big advocate for Big L.
Yeah.
This is an argument we've had on the show before.
Because again, this is kind of like the same question as the Jadakiss and Fabulous. You know what I mean? But Big Pun, come on, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah, Big Pun. Next question.
Big Pun.
Big Pun. Okay. Rest in peace to both of them.
Jigga or Biggie?
Jigga.
Jigga. I know you're going with Jigga.
B.I.G. forever.
Ooh. Yo, I gotta go with Jigga.
I don't give a fuck what Jay-Z does
But
moving forward, ever.
Yeah, I guess. But still Jigga. Easily.
Easily
Because we're in 2022, bro.
I know you bugging, nigga.
No, I just don't live off Big's 2 albums being the greatest things ever invented. Jay-Z's dropped mad good albums.
He doesn't just 2 albums. He doesn't just have 2 albums, though.
Yes, he does.
He only has 2 albums.
Got a lot
he
of
does.
underground shit, my nigga. Come on, man.
All right. Even then, 3 albums.
And even then, that underground shit doesn't stack up to anything that Jay-Z has done afterwards. So I'd have to go with Jig on this one.
But I just don't think that Jay-Z, his hits are not touching Biggie's hits, bro.
I think death plays into that a lot too.
It does not. It does not, in my opinion. I think when Biggie was alive, that nigga had a stranglehold on the game, and it just happens that death cemented it.
So did Jigga.
Not like Biggie though. Not like Biggie. When Biggie came out,
I would disagree with that.
Nah, I think they had equal.
Everything was Bad Boy and Biggie. When Biggie came out, everything was Bad Boy and Biggie. Y'all niggas must have forgot.
No, I didn't. No. But at the same
Shout
time,
out to Roy Jones.
When Jigga was the top hip hop artist, he did also have a strangle.
He was not.
He was the culture.
Yeah, but when Biggie was out and Biggie and Bad Boy had a strangle on music, you have to look at the sentence: Biggie and Bad Boy.
Yeah, well, Biggie
had 50% of that strangle with all the production he was doing and all the remixes, and not everything included Biggie. Of course, it does. It wasn't just the reign of Biggie; it was the rise of Bad Boy.
It was the reign of Biggie with Bad Boy riding his coattails. And
no way. If anything, it was Bad Boy who laid the sound out for Biggie.
Was not recognized as a top artist until Biggie passed away.
I won't
and
disagree
even then,
with
it
that,
took him a couple of years. Even then, it took him a couple of years.
The sound that was laid out by Bad Boy, not by Biggie.
Away, Jay-Z was not even a footnote in hip hop, my nigga.
Wrong, because he already had Reasonable Doubt and he had a second
but you was not pumping Reasonable Doubt like that.
I had it on wax.
When Biggie passed away.
I had it on wax.
You was not. You was not. I can guarantee you was not pumping Reasonable Doubt like that.
Can't tell
you
me
had it on wax. You could have had that nigga's fucking
and
autograph.
We had it on CD.
Yeah,
you could have had that nigga's underground verse exclusively on that cassette. My nigga, you was not pumping Jay-Z like you was Biggie.
No, because at the time Biggie was the man, but when Biggie was gone and Jigga was the man, Jigga was the man.
Yeah,
and they
there you go.
They
Biggie had to die for that shit to happen.
Yeah, but you don't know if Biggie had to die for that shit to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
He did have to die.
He died, and it happened. That's how life worked.
Yeah.
Look,
but we don't know.
You know what's funny?
Jay just talked about that.
Jay just spoke about that. We're having this conversation is because Nas fell off in between that time. That's the only reason that we're having this conversation. And Harv feels me on this because that's Harv's favorite artist. It
is, but I'm not blind to facts though.
Jigga became the man is because Nas fell off. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, don't get it twisted, my nigga. I would listen to Jay-Z for fucking 3 weeks straight. And everything that he says is like double, triple entendre. That this shit that I'm still computing in my brain now. That nigga's one of the dopest artists of all time, nigga. Like lyrically cannot be touched, but there was just something about Biggie, bro, with the way he put the fucking paper to the pen to the paper, the fucking words, it was just different.
You said
the
same thing about Tupac. There's something about Tupac. There's you know what's the similarity between both of them? They fucking died. And you hold them on this high pedestal because they died.
DMX died too, nigga. DMX died.
Yeah, but DMX already had his run.
The man like they are.
DMX had his run, and you saw him go down.
Yeah, by the time DMX
died, and Biggie died at their peak.
Yeah,
Big L too.
Big L never had a peak.
But what I'm trying to say is that he wasn't like, such a fucking good artist like Biggie and Pac. You know what I'm saying?
No shit. I could
even though he
that.
died. He was a great,
but because he wasn't on their level alive.
When you tell me that he wasn't a good artist, I'll tell you he definitely was a good artist.
But that made him a legend too. He falls into the same category. If he hadn't died, he would have, again, theoretically, and my opinion, if he hadn't died, he would have stayed the same artist. He wouldn't have grown or fallen. He would have just been Big L. Everybody thinks he's super lyrical, whatever, but he's not a hit maker.
My bad, man. I got something going on back here in the background, but what I'm trying to say is that regardless of how good an MC Jay-Z ever was or ever will be and how many songs he puts out that's fucking fire and dope and albums, compared to Biggie and his fucking crescendo, he's not touching him, bro. He's not touching him at all.
No, I gotta disagree.
At all, musically, bro. He's not.
Because you had 2 years of even if you say you had theoretically 2 years of Biggie on top, or how long was Biggie on top?
Biggie was on top for about 3 years.
Let's say 3 years.
9.3 to 9.6.
Let's say 3 years of Biggie on level 10.
9.3 to 9.7.
All right, 4 years.
Okay, let's say 4 years.
4 years
of Biggie on level 10.
Let's say 3 years because 9.7.
Because the first year he wasn't on.
Not even 10. that. 9.7 was only till March, and that was it. That was
no, but
peak.
the album lived through the year, so I'll give him 9.7.
All right, so 4 years.
4 years of Biggie on.
Yeah, 4 years.
I don't want to say the first year though. when Ready to Die came out, it wasn't an immediate hit. It grew to be a hit.
it was. It was. It was an immediate hit.
I think it was pretty immediate.
Yeah? All right, so let's say 4 years
immediate.
of Biggie on top, level 10.
Yeah.
But you got 20 years of Jay-Z either on level 10 or level 9 or level 8. Yeah. You know what I mean? He never fell
average
from that top. Yeah, it's a way more.
But you're arguing two different things, my brother. That's all I'm always trying to tell you. Regardless of his reign after the fact, you know, and the music that he put out after the fact, comparably speaking, they're never gonna match what Biggie did while he was alive.
That's a bullshit way of thinking, because he surpassed Biggie to me.
What you're saying is that Biggie
musically.
Musically, successfully, dollar-wise, award-setting, versus
what you're saying.
Everything.
What he's saying is that Biggie's peak was greater than Jigga's peak, no matter what it was.
All right, but I'll take Jigga's career over Biggie's career any day.
You can't compare.
Yeah, but that's not the argument.
Biggie had. Biggie. Jay might have had 3 peaks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I get what you're saying. He might have had 3 careers, basically.
Yeah. Biggie's 2 albums. Again, I don't know. I just think if you say Reasonable Doubt is Jay's best album, okay, Reasonable Doubt and Ready to Die, in my opinion, kind of cancel each other out. Neither one is dominating the other.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
True.
They're both good. On one day, you might like one more than the other. They're both
That's
dope.
a fact. Okay.
Life After Death.
Over volume
You can't put anything
double
up
album,
against it.
right?
Yeah.
Double album, let's say.
Yeah.
3 of Jay-Z's
You could put volume 1 and volume 2 against it.
Nah, hell no.
Hold on.
You crazy.
I'm not saying they're gonna win. I'm saying theoretically, if you put them out,
all right,
because it's his second album and third album against Biggie's second album, which was a double album.
Yeah.
So let's say Biggie wins that one, 10-9 or 10-8 even.
Yeah.
Because volume 1 had a couple
skips,
and volume 2 might have had a skip or 2.
True.
So let's just say Biggie wins 10-8. Okay, Jay-Z still has 10 albums
after that. Word.
To Biggie's 0.
Yeah. No,
but when he's
always like career-wise.
But that's not the argument.
The argument is, what was the question?
Who's the better artist?
Who's the better artist? The artist that has 13 albums beat the artist with 2.
No.
13 platinum albums to 2.
That shit don't make no sense. Your argument doesn't make any sense because it's the same thing that you're telling me Biggie died, nigga. And you'd be like, he could have fell off. Well, I could argue that nigga could have had 13 fucking albums.
Yeah,
just like Jay-Z,
you could argue, but he didn't.
He could. But you're arguing that fact. That's what I'm telling you. That doesn't make sense in this argument. What we need to do is factor in a way that we can compare them evenly.
No.
Because this is
because life is not even and fair, my nigga. He died.
No, but
that's not my fault. That's not his fault. The better artist is the artist with a 30-year career.
It's not who has had more success or who has lasted longer. It's who's the better artist.
The better artist is the artist who has produced more art.
No. Again,
because they're on equal levels.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense if you say. It doesn't make sense if you say Fabolous has 20 albums and he's better than Biggie because he has 20 albums. That don't make no sense. I understand what you're saying. That don't make no sense. Because he was never on a tier of Biggie. They were never equal.
No. You can't compare Jay-Z's body of work to Biggie's body of work.
I can. Yes, I can. I don't need to do anything because you're fixing
what we need to do is compare a small piece of it.
You're fixing the goalpost to keep Biggie competitive.
Listen, I put 20 Biggie tracks to Jay-Z's Biggie 20 tracks. Biggie's winning all day.
In your opinion.
That's it.
In your opinion. In your opinion. But in my opinion, no.
In everybody's opinion.
No, I don't even think Biggie got 20.
Nigga. Because you lied.
We've had this talk.
You think that Jay-Z's winning.
We've had this talk. I don't think Biggie got 20.
I'm saying you lied to yourself if you think Jay-Z's winning.
No, I'm not. That's my favorite rapper. That's who I select. He has more success. He has more albums. He has more accolades. He has more classic verses.
Nigga, Jay-Z wouldn't vote for Jay-Z in a battle
because he's another one that has to be under.
Crazy,
y'all all under that bullshit of Biggie's the GOAT. He died.
Crazy,
no, nigga.
Half of Jay-Z's fucking lines are from Biggie, nigga.
Out of homage. Yes, he's bigging up his borough. Yeah.
He's that thorough. Whatever, my nigga. And again, I really fuzz with Jay-Z, so it kind of like, it makes me upset that I even have to talk this way. You know what I'm saying? But he's just not fucking with Biggie. There's no way.
I disagree.
Nas not fucking with Biggie. Nobody.
That's the whole point of the debate, that I disagree. Yes. And I think he's had a better career, and I think he's a better MC.
That's the opinion, my nigga, and you wrong.
Yeah, that's the whole point, in my opinion.
You're dead wrong. So, and like I said, any track that they've had together, I think Biggie is smoking Jay-Z.
And I disagree on that too.
Yeah, that's a tough sell right there, sir.
I disagree.
Yeah, he's smoking him, nigga. Dead ass.
But y'all live under this facade of Big being the ultimate GOAT rapper, and
he was, bro. He just was that dope.
No, he was just the dopest guy during an important part of your career, of your life.
Like, yo, this nigga was on some next level shit, man. And not to mention the fact that he wrote for other artists too, B.
So did Jay. They wrote for a lot of the same artists.
I know he did.
But all right, last question,
and this is another one that we could go back and forth. Who you fucking with now that LeBron has moved into the second all-time leading scorer in the NBA? Are you taking LeBron or are you still taking Jordan?
This is opinion versus fact. Opinion is Jordan. For the same reason Biggie. Because he was important during the important time of our life. We're always going to hold him to be the GOAT. Statistically, LeBron surpassed Michael Jordan a long time ago. Statistically, numbers-wise, yes.
What about accolades-wise? You think he passed him already? I don't think so.
In everything except championships.
In everything? I don't think
Almost.
so. Nah.
Look it up. I mean, I don't know. You guys know more about sports than me, but he just said he passed him in scoring.
Yeah, statistically, I think he passed Jordan on almost everything.
But that's the thing. He's passed almost everybody in everything. He is the Jay-Z of the NBA. 20-year career, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So
go ahead, Blood.
This argument applies again to the previous one because, yes, LeBron, I fucking absolutely love him. You cannot take away anything that he's done. He's in my opinion, maybe the second or third best player ever in the NBA. But you cannot compare him to Jordan because Jordan did so much while he played. You know,
and it's the same argument, bro.
And it's the same argument, but that's what I'm trying to let you know. Like, Jordan made magic that LeBron never will make. You feel me? Won championships that LeBron can never win on his own. Done things that LeBron will never do.
But there was players before Jordan that did more than Jordan.
And he retired in his prime.
Kareem did more than Jordan.
He retired in his prime.
See? You hold nostalgia too close to heart, B.
But I'm not holding nostalgia. This is the truth. This is fact. He retired while he was on top.
Yes, correct. Just like Biggie died.
All over again.
Just like Biggie died when he was on top.
Bron does that, and Bron might not. Come on, man.
Bron never retired. Is the point?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
he's been consistent for 20 years.
I don't know.
But he scored 30 points his first year. He scored 30 points his last year.
He's scoring 30 points this year. I don't think
so. Who's better, LeBron?
All right, the game is tied up. There's 2 seconds left to the game.
Different question.
Who you giving the ball to? LeBron or Jordan, nigga?
Yeah. That's a different question.
Who you giving the ball to?
I'm giving it to Jordan. But if you ask me Reggie Miller or LeBron, I'm giving it to Reggie. If you ask me Kobe or LeBron, I'm giving it to Kobe.
Biggie, nigga.
Nah, you changed the goalpost to make your guys seem the best.
Nah. I just, I respect
Jordan's not even the GOAT,
so much.
What?
Huh?
Jordan is not even the GOAT. If you compare him to like a Kareem or
and,
every generation has their GOATs. Yeah. Our GOATs just happen to be Biggie and Jordan. But Jay and LeBron have surpassed them.
I don't know about that. I think
in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that I don't know, bro.
We're just always gonna hold Jordan to be Jordan. He's always gonna be Jordan.
Yeah, because he did that magic.
Even if LeBron had 10 rings.
That. I'll never forget that.
And that's the thing. I'll counter that because if let's say shit happens and fucking LeBron goes on this run and he wins another 4 rings and he's got 8. He's a fucking GOAT. There's now at that point you cannot argue that Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan has 6 rings and nobody says he's the GOAT.
Because he wasn't the focal point.
Because it wasn't
was he not?
him.
No, he wasn't. One of those championships, Tony Parker won on his own.
He was a
You know what
part
I'm
of the
saying?
machine.
And he was a
He didn't
exactly.
hit a buzzer beater over
low-key,
Greg
man.
Elo.
No,
You feel
I
me?
know, but you
He
gotta
didn't hit a
understand.
buzzer
He
beater
was
over
the
Byron
man.
Russell.
He was the man,
You know?
but he wasn't that
Not like
team.
that.
Like, of course, basketball is a 5-man sport and this and that, but Jordan was the focal point of the
All right,
offense.
how about Larry Bird? How many rings he got?
Like 2, 3?
Really?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, he got like 2, 3. That's it.
And it's the same difference with
Trying to
Larry
think
Bird.
of
It was
who
the
got mad
team.
rings? Bill Russell. How many rings he got?
He got 11.
He got 7.
He's
Bill
got
Russell
11.
Exactly, and nobody
no.
says
Was
he's
it
the
11?
GOAT.
He's got 11. He's got 11 rings.
Yeah. A lot of people do say he's the GOAT.
Yeah, but he's got 11
But not
rings.
as much as people say Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah, but
because-
he's got 11 rings when he was by far and away the tallest player that anybody had ever seen. He was the most athletic player when people were just dribbling.
Was
like,
Michael Jordan not the most athletic player? Was he not the most air nigga you ever seen?
I'm
Nah,
just
there
saying,
was a
like,
lot of
the level of competition was way different.
Go ask people who were
It's different.
kids when Bill Russell was playing.
Yes, there was the
They're
level
gonna
of
say Bill Russell was the GOAT.
the level of competition was way different.
That what I'm arguing is that whoever was the man when you was a kid is always gonna be the man to you.
I get what you're saying.
That's why niggas hold Biggie to this fucking
I don't. I
this
don't.
pedestal.
I hold Nas to that pedestal.
So what was the last question anyway? Oh, LeBron Jordan. Yeah,
Yeah.
LeBron.
LeBron or Jordan.
LeBron.
Yeah, Jordan. Forever.
Who would win 1-on-1?
Jordan.
Jordan.
I think so. I think Jordan will lock him down defensively.
Not only will he win, but he'll fucking bang it on him, nigga.
That's the other major award that Jordan has over LeBron. That everybody talks about LeBron being this great defensive player. Jordan got more defensive players of the year than he did.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
in my
I
opinion,
even go as far as to say that Kobe was a better basketball player than LeBron.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
So how can LeBron be the best? You know what I mean?
There's
no way.
Yeah.
Touche,
That's
blood,
fair,
touche.
that's fair. But
You know, that's not a low blow at any way or try to disprove you. I'm just, in my opinion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing, Kobe's not touching Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kobe's
and
not far from Jordan.
Not far, no, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I would
Not at
even
all.
argue
Kobe's
to
not far
say
from Jordan.
that fucking Scottie Pippen could probably beat LeBron in a one-on-one.
Prime, I don't know.
Prime
man.
Scotty, bro.
I think y'all selling prime LeBron a little short.
I'm
bro.
not. I'm just.
He's a very strong
He
person,
is,
bro.
he
He might have
is.
posted Jordan up for 11 points.
He is very strong, but I think defensively, like I think these two, both Scotty and Jordan, both would have locked down LeBron.
I just think that LeBron's game, in my opinion, could have been so different and he could have won so many more chips. It's just the route that he's not as mentally strong as these other artists. Excuse me, as these other players, as Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah.
He didn't have that mentality.
I think we've always agreed on that.
I think that's
He
the
lacked
thing.
the
The
killer
will to
instinct.
win is not there as it was in both Kobe and especially Jordan, because he was probably the.
Do you think that's because he was the golden child from high school where Mike and Kobe had to work
right.
harder to get better?
It's possible.
You know what I mean? They
Absolutely,
had a stronger
man.
will
Possible.
where he was more just natural ability.
Like
and
yeah,
size.
I think that adversity made Jordan that much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And his
I'll
whole
tell you
fucking
like this,
taking
I-
shit personal.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the petty,
exactly.
bro.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's
you
what
know
I mean, the adversity.
I might have just had an epiphany, yo.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna change my decision. Jordan is better than LeBron. Kobe is also better than LeBron.
Tell us
because
why.
they're petty.
Right.
Yeah.
They're both very petty.
Yeah.
And
they
if
can't
you
lose.
wrong them in
Yeah.
any way, I just heard this story, right, about Jordan and Kobe, where Jordan played Kobe. You know, the teams played. I think it was Jordan on the Wizards, and the Wizards won. And Kobe was wearing Jordan 8s, and Jordan said, "You can wear the shoes, but you'll never fill them."
Yeah.
And then Kobe didn't talk to his team for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I heard.
And
this
then
story.
the next time they played Washington, he dropped 51 points on Jordan. So That's a good story, bro. I love
That's
petty.
a great story.
Yeah. The petty wins always, so I'm a renege on my decision. I'm gonna go with Jordan and Kobe and Team Petty all day.
And I love Kobe for that. I
Oh, yeah.
love Kobe for that because, you know, I didn't give him the props that he would get early on from people because I'm like, yo, he had so much help doing it. But just over time, he would be Mr. Consistent, you know, where LeBron, I saw him fold in the playoffs many times, bro. And I saw other players carry him. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that from Kobe and Jordan as much as I did from LeBron, you know?
I would say Jordan even less. No. I would say Kobe even less than Jordan.
What do you mean?
Because Jordan had Pippen, Rodman,
Yeah,
Ron Harper, Kukoc. Like, he had a pretty decent supporting cast.
So did
in
Kobe,
comparison to Kobe.
Kobe had Shaq, dude.
Well, the last couple of
Shaq.
chips.
Still had Pau Gasol, which was a dominant.
But he didn't have Paul Gasol that long, as long as Mike had Scotty.
They won 2 chips together. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Back to back.
Scotty and fucking Mike won 6, nigga. He didn't have him as long. Years-wise, he might have only had Paul 3 years.
I don't know. The fact that he had Shaq alone, one of the greatest duos of all time, if not arguably the greatest duo of all time. If you were to give me a choice to take Shaq and Jordan, Shaq and Kobe, or Pip and Jordan, I would fucking probably shoot my brains out because I wouldn't know who to take. That's impossible, yo. Like,
no way.
I don't know.
I agree. I agree a little bit with what Burnz is saying. Where every great player has help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but still.
But the difference is, though, Burnz, is that Jordan
did more with less.
Kobe couldn't. Like it was always an impossible situation. The chips were always stacked up against Jordan. Whether it was the flu game, whether it was they were down, 2 games on the Knicks. Whether it was
Kobe too, though. Kobe went through his 3 or 4 year streak that they sucked.
I think
that's a fact.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He didn't give up, and he rode through it, and then he got Lamar Odom, and then they got Paul Gasol.
But the difference is that the sheer level of dominance in the time period that Jordan was on his winning streak.
Exactly.
And again, this man retired in his peak.
That's why I'll say...
I'm still with you in saying, Jordan was the GOAT, bro. Petty GOAT.
That's another reason why. That's another reason why I will always take Jordan over the LeBron, because in the LeBron era, he's won his chips and he went to the fucking finals 10 times and all this bullshit. But other players also and other teams also had their run and had their streak and had their, like the Spurs. You had the Heat.
He wasn't as dominant.
When it was Jordan time, nobody had a fucking turn.
Nobody.
The only time somebody had a turn was when he fucking stepped away for 2 years.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's why he will always be the GOAT, in my opinion. When it was Jordan time, it was nobody else's turn. Like, it was my turn and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't argue that.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that's why Jordan will forever be the GOAT.
No. Yes. Forever GOAT because he was petty to me. I like petty.
Yeah, man.
Fuck that. If you want me to be a fan,
I heard a dope Kobe story.
Petty, bro.
He was, I think he was playing with, like, what's this guy's name that was with Iggy Azalea? Nick, what the fuck is his name?
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P.
He was like, they wanted Kobe to hang out with them. They wanted him to be like more relatable and shit. So they invited him out. He was like, all right, I'll make a deal with you. I go out with y'all, we chill with this and that, but then I'll do what you want to do, but then we do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you guys hang out with me. And he was like, all right, cool, game. So they went out to the club, this and that, had a fun time, blah, blah, blah. The next morning, Kobe's at their door, 5 o'clock in the morning, talking about, yo, let's go work out. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, I did what you wanted to do. Now you got to do what I want to do. And this is what I want to do.
That sounds like some Kobe shit.
And they were like, yo,
bro.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. This guy's a machine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he did it.
I think that's why I fuck with Kobe so much, man, because he was mental.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, it wasn't all physical.
So much mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, that nigga had a crazy brain, bro.
Yeah, he was a man, bro.
If I had a 1/5 of Kobe-ness, I would be fucking buff.
What? and you know what people forget is that Kobe had the same kind of welcoming to the game like LeBron did. He was the golden child. He was coveted. He was supposed to be the next big thing, you know. Not as much as LeBron, but you know, he skipped high school.
Skipped college.
Excuse me. Skipped high school. Skipped college. Went straight from high school to the league. And like people knew about Kobe beforehand. You know what I'm saying? So, but he just kept it going. You know, it's not like he ever fell off. He was like, yo, I'm Kobe, and he rolled with that. And you know, it was just, you know, he took advantage of his situation and his game and stepped it up, and mentally was super strong. You know, compared to like I said, compared to LeBron, and I give LeBron the ultimate props. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
All right, man. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, for
Shout out to LeBron. Shout out to MJ. This has been episode 105. We didn't get as violent as I would have liked.
Nah, this is the
precursor.
This is the build up to the fight, B.
All right.
You're not ready, son. You're not ready, guy.
Yo, my man, you need Red Bull?
What's
yo, wake your boy up, yo. That nigga's
name?
gonna get knocked out in the first round.
For real, yo.
Snuffed Michael Jordan?
Oh,
it wasn't Derek Harper.
No, it
wasn't Reggie Miller.
No,
That
it was
snuffed
somebody
Michael
from
Jordan.
It was somebody from the Pacers, I believe.
I don't know, but
damn, I don't remember that.
If you're Michael Jordan, I'm the guy that snuffed him.
You can't even remember his name, Nick.
It don't matter. It don't matter. I remember he snuffed him. He probably
you can
dropped
snuff
80
me once,
points
my
on him.
nigga. But yo, you're gonna go down in history as nameless. Son.
What else? What else? If you're Chris Childs and I'm Kobe.
Nah. You're
right?
What is it? I'm Kobe.
No, Barnes. You talking about the ball fake?
No.
Chris
Childs
snuffed
Kobe, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm Chris Childs. No, I'm still Kobe. You Chris Childs. Anyway,
B.
Shout out to all these rappers, bro. Shout out to hip hop.
Shout out to
shout out to
Kobe,
hip-hop.
LeBron.
Hip hop wins. Fuck that, man.
Yeah, always.
And yo, Jay-Z, if you're listening to me, you still the man, Lord. You still the man. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Send a message to Biggie.
Damn. Yo, I'm gonna send you some ice because you're the nicest MC.
Shout out to episode 105. We had a guest scheduled. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So we had to scramble.
Yeah, for sure.
For a topic, and this little debate was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds like you had mad fun, Burnz.
We gotta do it.
No.
He's just sad because he knows he lost.
With better preparation. Some of these questions, man, I just think you guys gotta let it go, bro.
You guys
can't be.
Let it go, man.
It's that petty, B. It's that level of pettiness. We ain't never gonna let it go, dog.
Yeah, and then my petty retaliation is to tell you to let it go.
Yo,
So it's a never-ending circle.
Like, all right, for instance, what is one thing that you want so forth to be let go? Like, what do you want to be let go?
That y'all think Biggie's the greatest and he's better than Jay-Z when clearly he's not.
I don't think he's better than Jay-Z.
What?
Oh, okay, so you let it go. Everybody else. Black, I'm looking at you. Blood, I'm looking at you.
You know,
listen, I'm gonna give y'all niggas. I'm gonna give y'all niggas a mixtape, the best of Biggie.
I heard it already.
I'll counter that. I'll counter that with the best of Burnz.
Not the Mr. C version.
You
not
heard?
The Mr. C version. The best of Burnz.
Yeah, I'll counter that with the best of Burnz.
That shit's gonna get burned and set on fire.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
On my barbecue grill. But yo, we just once and for all, we just gotta put a verses, yo. Your 20 from Hove against my 20 from B.I.G.
You could have done that today.
Yeah, but no, I need time to put together my 20 because Jay-Z has 13 albums I have to go through, not just two albums that you've been listening to for 30 years.
That you're gonna be like, damn,
you have fucking memorized
this whack ass song with a mill? Nah, should I put this fucking trash ass song
with a mill
with Black Street?
Ooh, y'all got any sign-offs so we can get the fuck out of here?
Yes.
But,
Go ahead, Blood.
Categories. We got to do some categories when we do that.
He always wants these categories, and
makes sense.
It's for Biggie. You always got to put these special goalposts.
I'm helping you, Five. I'm helping you.
No, you're not, man. The top 20
All
versus
right.
20.
Bet.
And
All right,
even
say
if
bets.
Biggie wins, that still don't make him a better artist than Jay-Z.
You hear yourself?
Longevity is a factor in artistry.
You hear yourself? Come on, man.
I do. All right, sign off.
Go ahead, Blood.
Yo, shout out to y'all niggas. Yo, y'all keep me on my toes. Y'all niggas is the reason why I keep doing this fucking debate shit. Cause if it was some other two Fugi niggas, I'd be like Joe Budden and I'll, go solo for real. But yo, I fucking love y'all niggas.
Hell of a game plan he's put out.
Sus Boys coming soon.
You know what I'm saying?
If Joe Budden's
So-
Biggie, then I'm trying to be Jay-Z.
And not give him a feature.
You know what I'm saying, Rory?
Oh shit.
But yo, I fucking love what we do. I'm always gonna be down for the debate. Know what I'm saying, and everybody just keep fucking with us, cause yo, we ain't gonna stop, motherfuckers. Chill.
Facts.
Yeah,
Big facts.
man. You know what it is, man. V.S.O.P. You know what I mean? We fucking around. Episode 105, man. We did it again, man. 105 fucking times, bro.
Sir.
Shout out to Straight Fuego Studio, man. Come in and get with fucking Brother F for that crystal clear quality, for that earlobe penetration. You know what I mean? Shouts to y'all fellas, man. Shouts to the Gahhd Cast, greatest podcast in the world. Keep tuning in, all social medias. You know what I mean?
Sir.
And that's basically it, man.
Shout out to that, man. Shout out next week. We got the brother Felix, CEO of I Blame Society, coming up.
Chill.
That'll be dope. Shout out to the brother Blood, the brother VS. Make sure you're following them. Brother Blood at @deadass_worldwide. Brother VS at @the_real_V.S.O.P on Twitter. Make sure you're following Straight Fuego Studios on Brother F at 711. Make sure you're following the Gahhd Cast at GAHHD_podcast. Make sure you're following me at callme_Joseph_.
Excellent.
Shout out to everybody checking in on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Play. Share it with a friend. Share it with your mom. Tell her I said hello. Moms love me. Shout out to that. Let's fade out with the love song of the week. New artist to me. I'm not sure how new she is to the world. Her name is Amalu. The name of this song is called Trust Nobody, because I don't trust nobody, including these two fuckers.
B.I.G. forever.
Brother F got that tuned up. As always, chin up, chest out. Carry yourself with honor. Carry yourself with pride. Let's go.
Chill.
Shout out to the ladies, as always. Shout out to the moms, the grandmas, the aunties, the sisters, the daughters, the goddaughters. Happy birthday, Ash.
Chill.
Happy birthday, baby girl.
Chill. Breath babies.
Shout out to the thotties and the side pieces. Don't trust nobody. Shout out to the bartenders and the flight attendants. We love you. This is Amalu, Trust Nobody. The love song of the week. This is my music. Oh shit, no. This is my music? Yes.
This is your music.
This is my shit and this is my music. This is off At Least We Have Us. Excuse me, At Least We Have This. Amalu. AMA. LOU. This is Trust Nobody. Go download that. Thotty season is upon us. Don't trust nobody.
Especially these stocks.
Don't trust no thotties except me.
Hey.
Body pimping.
Episode 105, the Gahhd Cast.
Shout to Miss Prime.
motherfucker.